WTMP HD, Egypt Lake, Tampa, and now on 102.1 in Pinellas County.
Alrighty, Tampa Bay, it's that time again. Your favorite midday talk show, WTMP, Porch Talk Radio. Boy, we got a show for you today. I go get your cousins, go get your auntie, go
Grandma.
get baby,
There you go.
go get Bubba, go get all them folks, because this is gonna be a show that you're gonna want to hear. And not only are you gonna want to hear, you're gonna want to talk about it when it's done. Because I'm sitting here with one of my favorite people on the planet, my sister Connie Burton, and we gave him hell at the city council meeting on Thursday. It wasn't city council, CRA meeting on Thursday, but we're gonna continue that today because it's a lot of stuff that goes on down there that y'all don't know. And what I said 13 years ago when I started this show, don't let me know those secrets, because I'm the one that's going to tell the community what's happening. I'm going to tell you what's really happening. My show ain't called What's Happening, but it is what's happening. Y'all know it. So let me go ahead and get the show started. We're going to introduce this thing, and we're going to get rolling, because me and my sister, we got some information. We got some learning to lay on you here today.
Yeah.
This is Porch Talk Radio. I'm your host, Eddie Adams Jr., co-host Gabriel Phillips.
That's me.
Oh, I almost forgot, Gabriel. and Tim, we've been doing this for 13 years.
Too long.
Because we love it. We love what it do. And every week when this show goes off, somebody calls me and tells me that we're doing a great job. And feedback from the public, that's more important than any kind of ratings or anything else that we can get. And people who I really, really, really respect. And some of them I really don't think they would listen to the show, because the nature of what we do here is conservative, is black, it's considered to be Republican. But at the end of the day, it's about how we make this black community better, how this black community gets to profit from the knowledge and the stuff that they're not taking advantage of now, and they're being taken advantage of. So this day's show, let me go ahead and give you the number. If you want to call in today and be a part of this show, it's going to be a great show. 888-247-8712. 888-247-8712.
Eddie, real quick, I just want to say this isn't about the money and the fame that we get here by doing this Porch Talk for 13 years. And all the thousands of people around the world get to watch our videos and listen to our podcast. The thousands of watching all that, that's great. It's the passion we have. Yeah. So if you can just, you know what, just keep my next check, okay?
I said, well I'm going to double it. That's how we're going to work.
Double zero.
Now,
great.
if you want to call me personally when this show is over sometime during the week and discuss anything that's going on, my cell phone number is 813-12. Okay, now that we got that out the way, let me go ahead and tell you folks something. And I know you guys on Facebook Live can see my sister here, but I am going to have to put it on my calendar so that every Thursday, at least every other Thursday, until the city council members of the city of Tampa can tell me how much money they are spending. And I'm saying spending now, but I actually mean stealing. Because if you look at this the way it works in other communities, the city of Tampa has a population within the black community of 26%. Now, some people say 24. It don't matter which number you use. The return on that investment to this black community is less than 2%. I mean, services that people in the community could be doing, those dollars could be spent with black businesses, helping those black businesses spend more money within the community. Since we don't have it, and I'm just saying the city, the county, there's some folks around this community that actually know how to do it right. Like the airport has a minority minimum requirement on every contract. I mean, every contract that goes to the airport. and they're spending $4 or $5 billion. That means black folks are making millions of dollars because they got minority requirement. Now I don't want you to be confused, because they got minority requirement, but they're actually spending money with black folks. That minority requirement, like I said Thursday, white women in there, and they're the majority of the population in the United States of America. There's more white women in this country than there is anything else. But yet they're considered to be a minority because white men own all the businesses. Just so it don't get confused. And if there's a white woman in there, they can give money and say, well, we're making our minority requirement. Those are the games that businesses have played for 20, 30, 40, 50 years with us. We're talking about the real deal. So that's why when I go to city council meeting, I say black. See, because I'm talking about the black community. I ain't talking about minorities. See, because they could play that game and we'll never get any further than we've ever been before. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to my sister. And between the two of us, we're going to let you know what the city council ain't, and I mean ain't been doing right for as long as I can remember. And I said this to them. Because the $10 million, that's from last year, should have been in this community, $10 million more dollars. Should have been in the black community for businesses and adventures and investment and money coming back, because more than that, a lot more than that goes out in taxes. And you don't have no say, they just take it. Connie.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I just.
No, and I really appreciate being able to come down here and, be with you guys. And when I told you, and I called you.
Yeah, yes you did.
I called you. I said, Eddie, please, this Saturday, because now we're beginning to help our community see more clear that the resources that we're requiring in our community is needed to help us move forward.
Right.
And what we have gotten year after year, as far back as Perry Harvey days, when he was our councilman, is this constant demand for economic justice.
Right.
And what we've been receiving, in my opinion, is pittance on the dollar.
The okie doke. The okie doke.
The okie doke. And so we get told, I don't know if you saw all of the CRA presentation, is that, our level of not being able to get anything done is based on, they had this color chart, and it talked about passion and determination, but over here, big boldly, it was about being impatient, a lack of knowledge, and frustration, as if we're just some angry people,
Right.
and we don't have an opportunity or understanding of how to discern things.
The same picture they always try to paint. They make things bright and colorful so you to notice what they want you to notice, but they don't want you to notice what the hell they're doing. That's the trick there.
And that CRA is a typical example. For the last 20 plus years that CRA has been in existence, it has been controlled by the city to get things done within the city guidelines. It's almost as if East Tampa is a city within a city. So because the CRA is spending a lot of money tackling on city services. Like if we want a beautification project, if somebody just to clean up in and around the city, the CRA is responsible for not only buying the equipment, but making sure that all of the workers, they are city staffers,
Right.
but you pay for their full paycheck. Their salary is included in coming out of
the CRA money.
Right. So instead of us being able to have money to do other, projects
For the community.
We got to take care of that. The CRA staff in East Tampa, all of those salaries, even though we can't fire or hire any of the staff, we don't do any evaluation. What happened is the salary comes out of the CRA dollars. So it's almost like impossible to get them to do what we want them to do because their primary boss is city government.
Yes. And let me say this again, because I really don't want you guys to not understand what I'm saying. The city of Tampa, along with the county and some other municipalities that you pay money into, owe you. I'm saying it's kind of like they stole it because they ain't paid you. Because that's the way the government looks at money and legislate, policies and procedures, the fact that they didn't put that money in the community, they're responsible for the community not getting $10 million that it should have had. Because the city budget is $1.8 billion. If they'd have paid for services rendered from members of our community, that money would have been circulating in the community. So imagine what an extra $10 million would have done. And that's from the city of Tampa. You got USF, you got the county, you got some other bad players that's not giving any kind of return but taking money from this community.
And so and let me just say this first. I'm not the CRA chair, but I am in East Tampa, so the chair not on the board or not, I have a duty and a responsibility to speak in behalf of my community.
There you go.
So what we see happening is all the time is the shell game. Is that whatever the community is making a demand for, we can't get it. Typical example, for the last 4 or 5 years, we've been saying that what we would like to see the biggest investment in is home rehabilitation. Simple projects, like let's restore some of the roofs on some of these people's houses. Let us spend some money for infrastructure. Let's interior, exterior work on a person's home so people can have dignity in their housing. And all of those little small requirements ends up in big dialogue that we can't get a simple request move because the interest of the city is not there.
Right. Yeah.
But if the city want a $1 million project to appear in the community, like a police substation, even though none of the people on the boards are architects, designers, urban planners, it happens overnight.
Yeah.
People are talking about now that big Hannah project coming inside they say East Tampa, but it's not really in East Tampa, it's in District 5.
Right.
But if you use all the projection of poverty and unemployment, that will then show that you're bringing an economic enterprise inside of that community, it makes you as the politician look good. Mm-hmm. I don't know what else you get from the federal government when you show that you are bringing these incentives inside of the community. But none of it has been to the benefit of our people in terms of construction, employment, or any form of opportunity. So what we're seeing is the ultimate shell game.
Yes. And let me add this to it. See, what the city has not found out that Tampa General, Moffitt Hospital, who spent millions of dollars last year with black businesses, Moffitt Hospital, Tampa General, the airport, it's just good business. At the end of the day, if you spend your money with local businesses, that money comes back to the community and comes back to the city. It helps the city move forward. It helps Tampa be that progressive city they keep saying they want to be.
Can you imagine that if we had a smaller unemployment rate inside the black community?
Right.
And people had those dollars because as a tradition, we tend to spend money.
Right. We spend every day. We spend money every day. Every day. Black folks spend money every day.
And so if we have the ability to earn money, we're going to spend it back into the economy and then the economy continue to bloom. The thing is, there's enough in this community for everybody, but when you have, in my opinion, leadership that's damn near determined to keep the African community outside of maybe a few people and organizations that are able to get a few dollars, and the bulk of the community is living in misery. We feed into the prison system. We continue to have this big veil of hopelessness over our community where we cannot see, growth and development. On top of that, we have real estate property now that everybody is, jumping at the bit to buy every house that cannot be rehabbed. Right. So it's not happening unintentionally. It is happening intentionally that our community, in spite of, the mayor coming out, giving out these numbers that she's increasing the number of affordability. When you go back and look at what's affordable, you're using the housing authority numbers. what's affordable is for one man might not be affordable to the next man.
Yeah.
And inside of our community now, in very low wage communities, you're finding houses that are now over $400,000.
Well, okay. Let me, community. I hope you listen. I want everybody to hear this. Gentrification is happening because someone on the other side of the track say now is the time. It don't just happen with a poof and there you go. All of a sudden, white folks want your property, because it was a time when they definitely would not live there.
Definitely.
But now all of a sudden, somebody gave the word. It's okay to not only just buy that property, but live on that property. Because what's going to happen is you buy that property, you raise it to $200,000 or $300,000. Then the house next to you that was $50,000, you get your neighbor or your friend, your cousin from Boston or New York or somewhere to come buy that house, and then they buy that one. Then next thing you know, you got 10 houses on that block that are now $500,000 or $600,000. And the black folks that used to stay there can't stay there no more. Now they got to go out and stay in the country. Well, Riverview and places around the city
Where
and
all
stuff
the
like that.
amenities are not.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
if you need transportation
Right.
because you still working at one of the local downtown
Right.
motels,
Yep.
how you get to work is unknown at this point if you don't have your own transportation.
Well, they used to service. See, the community, the entire black community used to be around downtown, so that all the servants for those big buildings and corporations and stuff could get to work.
Easy
accessibility. Now they don't give a crap.
No, because the jobs that we once did, now
Right.
people are being able to clean those jobs up, give them new titles, and so while
And they got immigrants.
my mother was a housekeeper. They don't even use those terms no more. It's environmental
Domestic servant.
Exactly. And so all of this stuff is happening right now. And on top of what I'm seeing now is this explosion of a community disappearing. That now we're walking around talking about, once upon a time that was there, because it is all now being gutted out for the enjoyment and pleasure of other people.
I know we got to call them.
And while, politicians will tell you, well, there's nothing they could do about it because this is what the market is dictating, I disagree with them 100%.
It's all political.
It is all.
And like I keep saying, and I want you to hear this, politics is a blood sport. Watch how these people operate in Tallahassee, in Tampa, at city council, at county commission. Just watch. Don't listen to what they're saying. Watch what they're doing. We got a caller. Welcome to Porch Talk Radio on this fine Saturday afternoon. Who are you? Where you calling from? And what say you? Hello?
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Fran Tate, chair of the East Tampa CAC board. I'm trying to keep my blood pressure down.
Yes, ma'am.
But I commend Connie. I stand 100% with Connie. This is an outrage. I want the community to know that I just received the email at 11:30 a.m. today, and it's entitled FDOT request to reschedule CRA board special call meeting for 4/19. In other words, what the CRA and what the CAC has to say to the CRA, that's not going to matter because they're trying to reschedule our meeting. But my focus is to continue my fight. Even though when I went down there, I was harassed and I was bullied. I was in the bed a whole week behind that scene, and I'm still going to continue my fight for East Tampa. Our seniors need rooftops, as Sister Connie stated. We got tarps on houses out here. Senior citizens who have paid into the TIF dollars all their life. We cannot get a RFP for housing rehab so that we can hire an administrator to start the process of rehabbing the inside and the outside of these homes, just as Councilman Orlando Goose had fought so diligently for. We also have other projects that we want to implement, but we can't get anything through because, as Connie said, when Michelle Van Loan, Director Michelle Van Loan presentation was made last week. One of the slides on her slide presentation was almost like a yellow index card, and it had adjectives on it. And two of the adjectives was in red.
Yeah. As if we're out of control. Yes.
Impatient,
Yep.
frustration. And I thank God for Councilman, help me, Connie.
Bill Carson.
What's his name?
Bill Carson.
I thank God for Councilman Bill Carlson, who said, I'm not black, but that particular slide has upset me to the point where I feel, Connie, what did he say?
Well, you're on the right track. He thought it was an insult to African American people that you would describe our concerns as being frustrated and out of control.
Right. And Miss Tate, one thing I want you to know, black people, and I'm not embarrassed to say it out, and I want everybody to hear it. Black people have went through 600 years of something no other race on this planet could go through and come out the way we are. We have been lied about because, if you go to Egypt, and I'm going to Egypt in October, but just to see how much that our history has been distorted, because for the longest time I was told black folks to never do anything and Africans were dumb and we was not civilized and this, and then I go to find out that we talk Socrates and Plato and all them Greek and Romans and stuff. They learned all that stuff in Egypt. The knowledge that they got from Egypt, they went back and say, well, this is what us smart white folks did. No, you learned math and science and astrology and dentistry and medicine from Africans. All that stuff come from African. So they've done a lot to make us not feel pride and not feel good about who we are and what we are. I'm telling you that they tried to have a master race of Germans in the 50s and the 60s. And them blue eyes and blonde hair and light skin was not dominant enough genes. They can't hold their own, because when you mix black folks with any other race on this planet, you still come out with black folks.
And could I just say this to Ms. Tate? And I really want to appreciate you praying this morning and your leadership. And while people have tried to insinuate that I have an issue with your leadership, I respect it. I know that
I have never heard that.
Well,
I don't know who's telling you that.
No. I just want to say from my perspective, I respect your leadership. And I respect your love for the community and your work that you're doing in behalf of the residents of East Tampa. And whether I'm on the board or off the board, I plan on still doing that. So I just wanted to say that publicly to you.
And Ms. Tate,
so very much.
And Ms. Tate, what I want you to know, I'm going to go to every city council person myself and ask them, why is it that the city of Tampa refuses to spend money with black businesses in this community? I'm just fine, because I don't want to put them on the spot by doing it at one of me, but I'm going to each one of them personally and find out. And then after I talk to them all, then I do it to the community, so the community would know.
So guys, real quick, these people that have been in power for so long, do we just need to replace them, period? Because there's been some councilmen up there that have been there for a long time, and if they ain't helping the community, we need them gone. If there's any new ones that are helping, great. But if there's a bunch of old ones been there a long time that are real nice and they promise that they don't do shit, I think time to get rid of them.
The black folks don't understand politics. That's why we got this show. We're gonna teach the community how to replace the ones that ain't doing what they need to do.
Well, let me just say this, and I say this all the time, and as a registered Democrat, that we have thrown all of our political power behind a party without accountability.
None.
Without accountability. And from the mayor on down to every constitutional officer in the city of Tampa, it's all Democrats.
Yep.
And for the black voters that has been loyal and supportive of the Democratic Party, not to be able to use our own taxing dollars to take care of issues in our community is an affront to democracy.
It is.
That's strong.
And that's why I say, literally, when I talk to them, I say, you are disrespecting this community.
Yes.
I told them, and I ain't biting my words and biting my tongue and missing my words, because they have been disrespectful, and I'm putting them on notice that we're not going to continue. We're not going to continue to accept that.
And so one thing that we're getting at our CRA meeting is that because we don't have a professional skill set, we got life experience. But like if I hired you, Eddie, as an architect, you don't expect me to come back with the blueprint, right?
No.
So I said, I want a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house. It's your job because I'm paying you to go and pull a plan. Pull it together, present us with something so we can move forward. What we get instead is that as a community and as a board, y'all don't know what you want. We say we want the roofs fixed on the houses. I don't have to go and buy the material. The money is there.
Right.
So we're getting all of these, not backdoor, in our face denial of bringing human.
You too stupid. Y'all don't know what y'all want. Y'all don't know what y'all doing. See, and that's an old political ploy, and we're not gonna stand for that anymore.
And you know what it does to our community? It erodes.
Reinforces.
Confidence in our community
That's
that we have leadership that cares, that they don't hear the passion that Fran Tater's putting out. They don't hear the passion of Yvette Lewis that she puts out as the president of the NAACP. And others in our community that is saying that if we can solve these simple problems, then we can handle these other big outliers because the community would see that we're moving.
And I want them to know that we as a community, we're going to back our elected black officials. You ain't gonna be able to take advantage of them and exploit them publicly and make everybody think, oh yeah, he's just another one of those. No, they got the full support of this community behind them. And that's all of our elected officials.
I'm not gonna allow people to play the shell game with me. So while you got me focused over here and you're doing other things over there, I want to bring your attention to a resolution that they put together in 2020 saying, now, we didn't make this up as a black community.
Let me get this call up, and then we'll come right back to your answer, your point. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio on this fine Saturday afternoon. Who are you? Where you calling from? And what say you? Hello.
Eddie Adams.
Yes, sir.
And Connie Burton. And your boy up in there, man.
Up in there.
Look here, man. Look at here. This thing on about CRA, minority business at the city, okay, it's all called disrespect.
That's right.
Now, y'all can say what you want about me. You can cuss me out, I'm this and that. But Joe Robinson gets some damn respect by the city of Tampa out of a dam from the mound down. And they know it. See, we don't have that problem on the west side. I tell that damn Michelle Van Loan, if you don't come in here with something, we get somebody else to replace you. We paying your salary.
Boom. Nice.
They don't come with that, man. I tell them right quick. I tell the chief of staff, fire her. Get rid of her, man. We don't want that. I ain't playing that. Then when we do something, I want my damn lawyer.
We changing things, Joe. It ain't gonna be the same as it used to be.
Well, listen, man. I ain't worried about it because I'm gonna be there too to talk what I got to say and what the hell I think going on. Damn what nobody say, but I know how to get results. I've been successful on the west side. And the difference is we don't play that with the city staff. We tell them what to do. And they knew that coming in 2015 that we're not going to do that. And they historically been over there disrespecting the east side. I can't do nothing about it because I sold out my property, but I might buy something to go back over there.
All right, Joe.
Thanks. God bless.
Thanks for your call. Next caller. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. Who are you? Where you calling from? What say you? Hello?
I'm sorry, Eddie. I got booted off the call.
Okay.
I'm just still on the line.
Go ahead.
But I think Joe Robinson, we do need help. That's all I'm gonna say. We do need help. Connie is straight on it. I'm on it. I see what's going on. But we need the community. We need help. How can you take our meeting schedule and say FDOT request to reschedule CRA special call meeting? And that was sent out this morning at 11:30.
How can they reschedule your meeting? That's your meeting.
Well, that's because they want to pack the FDOT meeting, and you know who you are, and you know who I'm talking to. You're wrong, and don't try to smooth this over with me, but the person know who I am talking to, because there's no way the community could read a FDOT meeting and a CRA CAC meeting, and there's no way that those meetings could be reconsidered. How can you reconsider the CAC CRA meeting and choose to go to the FDOT meeting? Your concern is taking care of the rooftop. Your concern is taking care of everything needs to be done within our 7.5 square miles of our boundary. We go to FDOT meetings. We've been to FDOT meetings. Let some of the more people outside the boundary attend that meeting. Why do you want to go and try to reschedule our meeting? Who is behind this? But we know who it is. Stop it right now.
Thank you. Thank you.
If ever there was a need for us to, and our relationship is going to be based around community support is real.
Yes. Yes.
And because the more we, show why economic development can't come to East Tampa, why contracts, minority, black, I'm like you, black
Right.
men and women be able to garner contracts from the CRA dollars. Why don't we see growth and development in our community? If ever we needed a federal investigator here,
Now is the time.
now is the time. Because we've been mulling this same issue over and over. They want to put it off that it's personalities on leadership tracks. When I was the chair just last quarter, we said, let's work on the 2019 plan because nothing had changed. None of the roofs had been repaired on the houses. Let us do something meaningful in the community. And within a year, now Mrs. Tate is experiencing the same denial that I was experiencing, that Natasha Goodley was experiencing, that the denial is that nothing is to be done in the black community. And all of the property then, based on the frustration of the people, is then given away.
Yes.
On the pennies for a dollar, it's given away. But what I'm holding them accountable is to this. Just like, and this is going what should move our people to voting in this next cycle in March of 2023.
Yes.
We're going to have a big election, and from the mayor name on down that ballot, it should be based on accountability.
Right.
Who did what?
That's
Not
right.
based on the party that they're in. You said in your resolution that you acknowledge, right here, Eddie, this is going to be their Emancipation Proclamation.
All
They
right.
wrote this. That they acknowledge the ongoing doing of the effects of slavery and what discrimination has done to our community. Well, you should be able to approve based on what
Right.
you do every Thursday.
Right.
When you're cutting up that pie financially, what's coming back to the black community?
That's right. That's why I'm gonna keep asking that
What
question.
is coming
That's
back
why
to
I'm
the
gonna keep
black?
asking that
We
question.
need pencil and paper.
That's
If you
right.
got 65 agenda items on that paper, how many black folks was able to move financially as a result of you doing business?
So
with?
we want to know.
We want to know.
We want to know. All right, caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio on this fine Saturday afternoon. Who are you? Where you calling from? What say you? Hello. Let's get it on.
Yes, calling from Tampa. I love you, Sister Burton. Hey, my question is for you. The guy who works in Lake Wells is named Darryl Stark. He used to work at the University Community Center in Tampa. How is Lake Wells always getting low income housing? What are they doing over there that Hillsborough County?
Well, if you look at the development, say like, look at the prime pieces of real estate that we have had that's centered to downtown. You know, Presbyterian apartment was completely demolished. We see that land that was once public housing, you know, the dirt, the soil is turned over, and I don't know how many market rate units they have over there compared to the people that once lived in that community. You look at Central Park Village.
Yeah.
It's not like black folks was not deserving or wanting a better quality of life.
Right.
We were just told no. We wasn't entitled to it.
And sister, I think they're doing the same thing to John. I don't know what they call it now. I think they're doing the same thing to Johnson County Court as they did at Tampa Park. They're gonna let it get ran down so that they can sell it to a private business, and they'll put some more houses and just market it towards being close to the casino. Thank you for everything you do, sister.
Thank you. But you know what? We don't have to sit idly by and allow it to happen because the women's over there in Civil Oaks Apartment, they are living under this cloud of black mold.
Right.
And their children shouldn't have to suffer that. But I'm going to have to give credit to Marco Rubio.
Yeah.
He wrote a letter to HUD saying, do not pay Cambridge management team $1 for the properties that they control and manage in the state of Florida because of the deplorable condition that they're in.
There they go.
And he took a stand.
Yeah.
And that, you know, what another congressperson didn't do, that's on their watch.
Right.
But he at least said and acknowledged that people should not have to live in subhuman conditions. And that's what we are calling on our city council to do. You know, I always want to thank those that will stand up in the gap and speak it to the interests of our community. But these days of the shell game and moving blame back to the victims is over with because we're talking about accountability. For the next 8 months, Eddie, we're going to be engaged in voter registration, voter education, and voter participation.
That's it. It's going to be different, and I'm putting it out there right now that the folks who not doing anything for this community, who looking the other way when we
step to them at the podium.
When election time comes, you know, every one of them. I'm not going to run against you because I don't live in the city of Tampa. But there will be somebody running against you who understand and who's, as they say nowadays, awake and aware of the problem within our community and the ones that's going to do something about it. And I don't care whether you're black or white. We got another caller. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio on this fine Saturday afternoon. Who are you? Where you calling from? And what say you? Hello?
This is Representative Hart. Am I finally on?
Yes, you are, Diane. Good to hear from you.
Hi. Absolutely. I had to call in. I'm listening to you all talk about it. And some of you all may remember when we started the CRA, I was one of the first people on that first CRA. We ran our own CRA. The city did not get to control it. They did not write the budget. We wrote it. But after that group, then came some new people that allowed the city to have a little bit more power, I think, than what they should. You know, there's no reason in the world that all of this time has gone by and we've been looking at new roofs. Well, we've not gotten any. I even wrote the plan for them 2 years ago, telling them how to make it happen, and it never happened. Whether or not my organization got it did not matter to me because we're getting busy anyway, but they have got to get some things done. They've got to. And I know that Connie and Fran and all of them want to see something happening in Tamba. And there's no reason why we shouldn't have something going on. You all know that I don't get to weigh in locally because that's called preemption, and I'm not supposed to do that. But I would like to say, I'm hoping for the next 8 months, please take full advantage of anything you'd like to know that I knew or I know that I can help you all with. I'm more than happy to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all just keep on the fight because y'all fighting a good fight.
Well,
and we deserve better. It's been too long.
We're going to get better because we demand it. Because I heard some white man say, make us do it. Well, guess what? He said it to the right Negro this time.
Good. I love y'all.
And, you know, I just want to say that, you know, the board is moving with, laser focus. That the little simple things that we can do, we don't want to do them in the same fashion.
Nope.
We don't want to contract all of the monies out from our community,
Out of the community.
when people in our community got skills.
And need jobs.
And they need jobs. What's wrong with asking Mr. Henry to get out to get the proper insurance and allowing him to come and bid as a businessman?
Right.
Work that he's been doing all his life.
Yes.
And that seemed to be the ongoing problem is the city willingness to open up doors of opportunity.
Right. For our people.
For black folks.
Right. Welcome to Porch Talk Radio on this fine Saturday afternoon. Who are you? Where you calling from? And what say you? Hello.
Hi, Margaret in Tampa.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to say, Connie, I have a copy of that resolution, Hillsborough County Board of County Commission Declaration of Racism as a Public Health Crisis. Now, I read it. There are some very good things in it, but the problem is doing it. So I'm waiting to see, and I have my questions ready because I get on Zoom with the group. And we want to get these things done, not just put something on paper and say, okay, I did this for black people, now I can move on. Also, you smart people, remember, politicians say anything that you want to hear when it's time for them for re-election. Marco Rubio is up for re-election. He voted against everything else for black people, but he want to just because he say, oh, people shouldn't live like that, that is not helping nobody. So he's running against Val Demings so far. So anyway, I just want to bring those two things to your mind. Thank you.
But thank you for calling. This is something what I have to impart upon the community. Not only will you and should you make them do stuff, don't just listen to them, because what they do, they come to the churches, they kiss the babies and make you feel good. That crap won't work no more. I'm telling you, they got to show up and make some stuff happen. I got to see them working. I got to see the difference in my community that they are making, or else next cycle, they're not going to get our vote. And I'm saying it, and I'm even though I'm a Republican, I'm saying it for the black community, because I'm going to tell you, over and over and over again, you've been getting the same stuff. We're going to make some stuff happen this time, because I put my foot on the line. They got their knee on our neck, and guess what? We're going to make them get it the hell off.
And, it's not for me holding up, Marco Rubio. It's the fact that if I tell 5 of them and none of them act but him, then I have to say that what he did was a good thing.
Right.
We have to say those that can listen to the issues of the community and is willing to make a forward step. Now, where we've been short on as a community is our lack of follow through.
That's right.
We got to follow through. We can't simply just go and vote and stay home. We got to stay engaged. And our lack of political engagement has allowed people
to take advantage of us.
Sue us in a certain kind of direction that we can't see beyond this little one group that's in front of us. We have to say now, based on our political maturity, we are holding you accountable for things that you did not follow through on. You can't say, make me do it, and when I'm constantly telling you to do it, you refuse to do it.
There you go. And we can't go at them continually begging. I refuse to continue to beg, because I am not a beggar. I'm going to make you do what you're supposed to do, because you got $10 million that you got to give back to this community. You stole that money, pretty much so. I'm using their words, because that's how they do it. Because we didn't get it, and you're supposed to give it to us, then you stole it from us. That's what I'm saying. We got another caller. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio on this fine Saturday afternoon. Who are you? Where you calling from? And what say you? Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Mona Judge, Tamba. I want to call and say that I listened to the CRA meeting on Thursday as well, and I listened Thursday night, and I took really offense to what Michelle said. And I see the problem being that when we started requesting, I was on the CRA board as well, but when we started requesting that we wanted black contractors to at least bid on anything that we were doing, and particularly people in East Tampa, that's where the problem came. Because when I got on the board, for 2 years, the only thing we did was the tree contract. And when we decided we wanted that tree contract to go to some black contractors in Tampa, it became a problem. They had this guy, Marcus, and he was really working with the CRA. It looked like it was going forward. I don't know what happened. And all of a sudden, he's gone. So it is an issue with East Tampa CRA. We bring projects forward to Michelle, and they just never go anywhere.
Well, we know that the white folks have been doing this for a long time. They're good at it. Our problem is we have to learn how to fight that and not stand for that anymore, because at the end of the day, if they're spending our money on everybody but us, it is up to us to say we're not going to let you do that anymore. You're going to spend this money in our community the way we want, because we understand how and what you have been doing to us for years. We're just not going to take it anymore.
And one of the biggest problems, Eddie, is that now we have more you know, a lot of money for black folks, a lot of money in our CRA account, but it's just sitting there. And the call is exactly right. You know, when we start saying, you know, we wanted African entrepreneurs to come on board and be able to start bidding and getting to work, it led to then the board being confused that we don't know what we want. Yes, we do want. We have a full understanding that we want to see the beginning of generational wealth being created inside of our community. And this ain't no beggars program.
Nope.
This is the money that has been set aside from the community, homeowners, and businesses that is predominantly African Americans, that we want to see African Americans receive and enjoy the fruits of their labor. What's hard to understand about that?
You know, guys, I keep hearing you talking on a similar thread here is that these politicians forget that they are your employees. You pay their salaries or benefits. You pay all that for them. You pay their travel expenses. You're the bosses. And until you go back in there like you're the boss, they're going to keep treating you like you're their employee and they're the boss.
But see, they still got that slave master mentality. What we got to do is let them understand that we over that. We over that.
Let me show you how I know I'm over it. The organization that I work for, Florida Rights Restoration, with Amendment 4, we had to go back and take and help people get the resources to help pay for their fines and fees so they can get back into the election cycle, right? Which is on the right thing to do for full accountability, right? So I have a massive list of people who, if they did not know, their fines and fees have been paid. We don't tell you what political party to be affiliated with. We say just get back into the process. And if people want information, please give me a call at 813-499-6186. And on next Saturday, is that going to be the 30th?
No, this farmer.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
2 weeks from now. We're going to be working with NAACP. They're doing a huge grand opening. They got a brand new, beautiful office space under the leadership of Sister Yvette Lewis and the full board over there at the Gary Adult Center. And they're going to be doing a grand opening that day. And we're going to have a table out there. We're going to be working on voter registration. And also, if people have fines and fees, we're going to be signing them up. People that their fines and fees have been paid, we're going to be registering them up. So we got 8 months up until, March of 2023. We got a governor's race this year and a mayor's race in March. We got a lot of time with a little window of opportunity if you want to become politically engaged.
Okay, and this community is going to be community at large engaged in all the elections. This community, because we, as they said in the old days, I'm tired. I'm tired of being tired. And I ain't going to be tired no more because we fit to change this SHIT.
And you know what's good about me being here, Eddie? It don't matter what your political affiliation, I call you up. Hey, sister, hey, brother. Because when we see each other, we see a common thing.
We together.
Awesome. We are African people trying to survive and leave a legacy for our community.
All right, we got one more caller, and then we're going to do the on this day and keep it moving. Okay, caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. Who are you, where you calling from, and what say you? Hello? Caller? Hello? You don't say something, we're going to the next one. All right, don't hear anything. All right. Next caller. Okay, on this day. On this day, April 16th, 1862, in the U.S., slavery was abolished by law in the District of Columbia. Now, what they did was they abolished slavery in the District of Columbia before they did the whole rest of the United States, because they knew they had a problem right there. So they said, okay, like we trying to do, let's fix this, and then we're going to go from there. So they abolished slavery in the District of Columbia before they did the whole rest of the United States. On this day, April 16, 1917, Vladimir Lenin returned to Russia to start the Bolshevik Revolution after years in exile. On this day, April 16th, 1968, the Pentagon announced that troops would be coming home from Vietnam. On this day, April 16th, 1972, and I think all of you old folks remember, they had 2 giant pandas that came to the United States from China. And they made like that was a big damn deal.
Like we cared.
Like we gave a crap. Gabriel.
All right, we're going to lighten the load a little bit, guys. We've been hot and heavy and a lot of heavy-duty stuff here, so I'm going to try to take the other way temporarily. So the other day I was doing a project around the house, and I asked my wife to bring me a screwdriver. The wife responds back with flathead, Phillips, or vodka. And that's when I knew she was the one. Ladies and gentlemen, as we go on, Rhode Island has the highest vaccination rate and the highest COVID infection rate. CDC shows COVID-19 spreads faster in communities or counties with higher vaccination rates. Comedian Gilbert Godfrey, if you guys remember this guy, recently died of a heart attack. Yes, he was fully shotted and boosted as well. The CDC, meanwhile, just put the notice out that, oh, by the way, yeah, these shots can cause heart problems. Sorry about that. Moving on, keeping on the happy side. The New York Times, if you wonder what liberals are up to, listen to this one. The liberals just posted in the New York Times that proposes eliminating the belief in God as one of the holiest weekends of the year. So the New York Times says God needs to go. He ain't convenient anymore. All right. The insane response to Elon Musk's proposal to buy Twitter as a significant premium proves that he isn't acquiring a private company. He's acquiring a global government censorship engine. Capitalists don't turn down $10 billion in free money. Only totalitarians would do that. Meanwhile, on his buying spree, he has offered also to buy CNN. About $28, he says. Moving on, Warner Brothers just took out all the gay mentions of Harry Potter from the China release movie because Warner Brothers doesn't want to upset China. And of course, Mr. Boustros Ghali, boy, so many good people out here. Here we go. Remember the dumb idea of defunding the police by the politicians in Hollywood? Well, guess what? Right now, starting the 12th of this month, California is no longer allowing mail drops in certain neighborhoods because your carrier is being attacked because there's no popo around to keep everybody in line. So if you want your mail, you got to go find it at one of the post offices. Let's see. Here we go. False flags. False flags. Eddie mentioned this. Connie mentioned this. The politicians will do one thing on one hand, and they got the other hand doing something bad.
Robbing your pocket.
Did you ever think about the Las Vegas shooting? The darn cameras weren't working that day. How about when Epstein suddenly committed suicide? The cameras weren't working that day. Jean Bernal, suicide? Cameras weren't working. How about New York City subway shooting? Oh, their cameras weren't working again. Could it be the CIA, FBI behind it? First graders, meanwhile, do learn about gender identity and use sex ed classes. Finally, tips to save on gas. Check your tires, reduce your speed. Avoid lots of starts and stops. Get rid of extra weight, and don't vote Democrat. That's it for me, Eddie.
All right. And I got to take this little time, and then I'm going to let Connie have the final say. In 1998, the World Health Organization warned the world that there would be a tuberculosis-type epidemic coming in the next 2 decades, and this is 1998, that would kill 70 million people. I've said that before. I'm going to keep reminding you.
You saying this is planned?
In 1998, they knew that there was a pandemic coming. They just hadn't put a name on it. Maybe they had put a name in it. They just hadn't told anybody about it. But that's what we're going through right now. Now, the World Health Organization knew about it in 1998.
And I would say on this week, our dear beloved brother Jackie Robinson brought light to baseball.
Yes, he did.
And for the community moving forward, let us just remember the simple words of Brother James Brown. And that is, we are black and we are proud. Thank you, Eddie.
Say it loud. Until next week, folks, Tampa Bay, this is Eddie Adams, Gabriel Phillips, Tim Horton, and Connie Burton on Porch Talk Radio. We love you.
God bless America.
Bye-bye.